Hi, my name is Hannah and I am the designer behind Yarnia Designs. Before I just get into the designs I'm going to show you today, I just wanted to let you know that I am going to be donating 30% of all my pattern sales over this weekend to the Wildlife Trust, as the theme for this Yorkshire Yarn Fest is Earth Day. So just to let you know that up front. And in the theme of Earth Day, I have designed a sock pattern which has been released today. So I'll just grab that. So here we are. These are the Wild Roots socks. Got to here. And the pattern is now live on Ravelry and in my PayHip store. Most of the patterns I'll show you today are available in PayHip as well as on Ravelry. And I'll just show you this one a little bit up close. So I've just twisted this round so that you can see the lace, how it runs directly over the front of the sock. So normally, there we go, so it's actually, that bit runs straight down the front. These socks are worked top down with a heel flap and gusset, and the lace is like a gorgeous leafy pattern, and then you've got some lovely sort of roots and tendrils running along each side of the sock and also along the back as well. So yes, it's exciting. These are the Wild Roots socks, and they're available now. So next up, I thought I'd move on to some sort of spring summery garments. So currently I'm wearing my Shoreline Tee, which I released last year, and as you can see it's got this lovely sort of scalloped hem with lovely lace there, which I thought looks a little bit like waves, and it's knit from the bottom up, so bottom up, and then it's sort of dropped shoulder sleeve, and then you've got sort of like an eyelet, garter eyelet edge on the neckline and on the sleeves as well. So I really love this one for sort of wearing over dresses. I did knit it to sort of a cropped length, but you can knit like any of my garments, you can sort of lengthen the body. I don't normally include shaping within the body. I quite like a straight garment, so it's easy to adjust the length if you want a shorter or longer garment. So this is the Shoreline Tee. I'll just grab my next one. Sticking with t-shirts, this is the Bramble Tee. So again, this one has got lace at the bottom, but it's a little bit more intricate on this one. Hopefully you can see that with the light. So again, this one is also knit from the bottom up, but this one, it flares out a little bit at the bottom, just because of the way the lace is worked. So you also get some lace on the sleeves as well, which I thought was quite fun to add on. So yeah, I really love sort of knitted tees to layer over dresses in the summer. And they work really well with sort of high-waisted jeans as well, and skirts, so yeah, they're quite versatile. You can sort of style them quite a few different ways. Yeah, they're just really fun to wear. So, and they're quite quick to knit up as well, because you don't really end up on Sleeve Island for very long, so that's another bonus. Okay, so next one. This is my newest garment design, and this is the Daphne Sweater. So as you can see, I'm a bit obsessed with adding lace onto the bottom of the hems, so this is another one where I've done that. I just find they're quite nice for sort of spring and summer, to have a nice airy sort of fabric. And this one you can see has got leaves along the bottom, so fits in quite well with Earth Day as well. And then you've got a sort of garter along the neckline and the edge for the sleeves as well. So this one you could also change, adapt into a t-shirt as well, and just not knit the sleeves as long. I did knit this one a little bit longer than the Shoreline, but you could easily crop it if you wanted a shorter one to go over a dress. But yeah, this one is also knit from the bottom up. I do have some sweater patterns which are knit from the top down, if that's what you prefer, but those are a bit more wintry, the ones I've done so far. I have got some more in the works, but they're not finished yet. So yeah, so this is Daphne. Then moving on, I've got another sweater design which is really nice for spring, I think. It's the Laniera Sweater, which is another word for honeysuckle. So this one you get, there's a simple lace sort of along each side of the front, and then you also get some texture just sort of like on the side of the body, and then on the back you get a little bit more lace, so that's a little bit more intricate but still really simple, and it doesn't take over the whole sweater, so it's just sort of subtle lace patterns on this one. Right, let's have a look. Oh yes, sorry, the second t-shirt, that's the Bramble Tee, if that was the purple one. Are the sleeves full length? These ones, they're sort of bracelet length on this one, but you can knit them longer. You could just add on, after you finish the shaping, you could just keep knitting around and around until it was long enough for you. You could try it on, so that would be really easy to adapt. So yeah, that was the Laniera Sweater. And then moving on, I thought I might show a couple of shawls if I've got time. So we've got this one, I think is really nice for spring, and this is the Pear Blossom shawl. So this one's an asymmetric shawl, so it's one of those where you start off with a little point and it gradually increases into a wider sort of triangle. And this one actually comes in two different sizes, which are both included in the pattern. So this is the 2 skein version, so the bigger one, but there is also just a 1 skein version which still wraps around nicely if you just have a spare skein of yarn that you weren't sure what to do with. It would make a good pear blossom shawl. So yeah, this one, it's got a lot of garter stitch, because I really do love garter stitch in a shawl. And then you've got lovely eyelet rows and this lace pattern which repeats every so often throughout the shawl. So you only need 1 colour for this shawl as well. So it's, yeah, quite good for those random skeins that you're not sure what to do with. Oh, sorry, it's a fingering weight shawl. So yeah, all of the garments I showed were fingering weight as well. Forgot to mention that. So yeah, fingering weight shawl. So if you've just got 1 skein or 2, then works quite well for this. Okay, so another shawl I wanted to show, which was one of my favourites for summer, is the Sulcum Shawl. And so this is a crescent shaped shawl, and you need 2 colours for this one. It does require 2 full skeins of fingering weight, and again I've included lots of garter stitch, some eyelet rows, and then we've got this feather and fan sort of lace pattern that gets repeated a couple of times, and then this bigger lace section at the end with an I-cord bind off, which yeah, so I do love an I-cord bind off on a shawl. It just gives it that really lovely clean finish. And yeah, so just checking my time, I'm okay for time. Right, so that's the Sulcum Shawl. And another shawl which I really liked is a bit different. This one is, it's a big sort of triangular shaped shawl, and it's the Ripples in the Ocean is the name of this one. So this uses sport weight, and all of the sort of patterns with the colours are actually created using mosaic knitting. So it does look like it's colour work, but none of this is created with stranded colour work. It's all mosaic knitting, which just uses slip stitches. So it's actually really simple, but looks really effective. And you need 3 colours for this one. Let's see. So then you've got a tiny bit of lace at the end as well, with some garter. Let me just see, I've got a couple of questions. The Bramble Tee, I used Travel Knitter for that. I can't remember what the colour was. Might have been Brambleberry? Can't remember. What colour did I use in the shawl? Which shawl was that? Was that the Pear Blossom? I think the dyer I used for this one no longer dyes. If I don't manage to answer all of the questions, please do send me a message over on my personal Instagram account, which is Yarnia Designs, and I will be happy to answer any questions on there. But yeah, so this is the Ripples in the Ocean shawl, and it is quite a big shawl as well, so if you want something big and cosy to wrap up in, then that is a good option for you. Another design which I use mosaic knitting in is my Festive Cheer Cow, which you can just about see up there, which uses lots of mini skeins as like a sort of an advent pattern, but I won't show you that because it's a bit more of a Christmassy one. I did have another couple of socks to show, so I've got here a shorty sock, and this is the Apple Cinnamon socks. So it's got a nice sort of just rolled edge on the ankle, and then it's designed to use mini skeins or scraps of yarn, and you sort of fade them into each other with this little zigzag using mosaic knitting again. So it's just all slip stitches, and then you do have a little bit of texture on there. I don't know if you can see. A little bit of texture, but yeah, it's quite a simple pattern, and this pattern actually comes in the shorty version and the full leg version, and it's also included with instructions for toe-up construction or cuff-down construction for both options. So it really is a bit of a recipe, this one, and yeah, it's quite fun because you can make the sections as short or as long as you want, and I think people have also used it for some self-striping yarns as well, so it's quite a versatile pattern if you want some nice summery shorty socks. Okay, right, one last sock pattern to show you. This is just, I thought I'd show because it's one of my favourites, and this is the Drip Drip Drop socks. And they feature a lovely sort of texture with these bobbles. Well, they're not full bobbles, they're sort of more neps, and then you get a lovely sort of lace pattern running down the side, each side of the sock. Just one of my favourites, so I thought I'd have to show these ones off. So yeah, I think that's almost about all I've got time for. I don't sell the sock blockers, no. The bunny ones I think I got from the Wool Shed, and these ones were from an Etsy shop, possibly somewhere in Romania. I can't remember the name of it, but I can try and post that at some point. Okay, let me just scroll, see if I've missed any questions. What colours for the Sulcum Shawl? Oh right, the sort of minty green is Labiana May. I can't remember the name of the colourway. I think I